I'm Coach Mike Davis, and you're listening to The Real Deal on Akil.
In Texas, I am joined by a coach that took over Indiana as the head coach in 2000. Then took him to the Final Four in his second year coaching. Then fast forward to 2012, he took over TSU, won either the regular season championship or the conference championship in his tenure so far. 8 total tournament appearances. I'm joined by none other than Coach Mike Davis. Coach, all right, let's take it back to Indiana. When Bob Knight was there, you was the assistant coach, and then you got the word that you were going to take over as the head coach. Just give me your reaction back at that moment.
I was excited to have an opportunity to lead a program like Indiana. I'm nervous at the same time because of the magnitude of the program, being one of the top programs in the history of college basketball. But it really got my hometown excited. Everybody in my hometown was just like, they couldn't believe it. They was all excited for me to have that opportunity.
Yeah, now I want to talk about the first time me and you met. I was sitting there at the this past season, getting ready. We had the TSU Sports Network with Nick Strong, and then I walked past you plenty of times at school at the games. You walked to me. First of all, I was like, okay, is he coming to me or is he gonna skip past and walk somewhere else? We sat down and talked for like 30 minutes. Literally after you left, I text chat about it. I said, did you tell Coach to come to me? Like, what was, you know what I'm saying? I was like, hold on. It's Coach Mike Davis. Like, this is our first time talking. We had like a real good conversation. You know, a lot of people might think you intimidating or something like that. I like, man, you know, ever since then we've been cool, and I'm glad you joined the show. And let's talk about the year after the Indiana, the first season you took over. Going to the Final Four. Talk about that team and that season.
Well, what you didn't know, I saw you on a radio show. That's how I knew who you were.
Okay.
They was talking about the SWAC football.
Yeah.
And you was talking about Coach Haywood and Griff and all the wide receivers in the conference. And, you know, some of the things you said was pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I knew your face and your voice. And when I saw you live, I just came over and talked to you.
I appreciate that.
So I'm always watching something.
Yeah, you never know who's watching.
Never know. But Indiana was great. You know, we had the opportunity. My first year, we went to the NCAA tournament, got beat by Kent State in San Diego, and the next year we would go to the Final Four, which is, you know, always a dream come true for all the coaches. And every year at the Final Four, we have a Final Four coaches meeting, a coaches banquet, where only the coaches who went to the Final Four can attend. And so we had a Final Four jackets, and I went last year. We was here in Houston for the first time and received my jacket, and it was nice, but great memories. We were leading with 2 points. We was up 2 points with about 10 minutes to go to the game against Maryland, and you don't get any closer than up 2 with 10 minutes to go, winning the game. So I was excited about just looking back on the things that we accomplished as a program in Indiana. And they hadn't been back to the Final Four since I was there as a coach. Hopefully they can go back soon.
Yeah, that's a storied program, and the expectations you set for that team, going into that season, went to the Final Four, what was the expectations you told your team before conference play got started in January?
Well, we had struggled from a program standpoint of not getting to the Final Four, and we wanted to leave a legacy. We wanted to do something that hadn't been done in a long time. There's nothing you can do in Indiana that hasn't been done before. We had an undefeated season one, so we had some seniors on our team that wanted to go out and be remembered. And our first thing we wanted to do was just win the conference. We wanted to win the Big Ten and go to the Final Four and championship game. Those were our goals for our team. And we had Jared Jeffries, who ended up being a first-round NBA pick, and Dane Fife, who's now the assistant coach at Michigan State. Both of those guys were our leaders, and so they came together and got on the same page, and our team followed suit behind those 2 guys. And we ended up, everybody thought it was a run, but I thought we was playing really good basketball at the end of the season, and by us winning the Big Ten, it tells you that we had a good season in the Big Ten. But it was a really, really, really good team from a standpoint of chemistry, one that I want to someday have again. But I know what it takes. I understand what you have to do to develop a good team, and the culture is so important. And so our culture at that point was just like unbelievable. Everybody liked each other. Everybody cared for each other. It was kind of like brothers playing, and I want my brother to do well. I want my brother to do better than what I'm doing. And so that's hard to find, but every year someone's going to accomplish that goal.
Coaching under Bob Knight, being the assistant coach for Bob Knight, and you taking over, and you still coaching now, what did you take from learning from a legend like Coach Knight?
Well, I think anytime you're around greatness, they do things the way it's supposed to be done. They're all about everyday improvement, getting better every single day. And so just watching them and emulating them and what they do and how they approach their everyday duties as a coach and as a leader, I got so much from him as far as no matter what you have to do, you have to know it. You have to know it. And when you're doing a scout report, he would let us take notes out on the floor when we were scouting the team. So you had to watch so much film that you knew exactly what they were doing. It was in your mind. It wasn't on paper. You just knew it. So that was one thing I got from him, that knowing every single thing that the opponent's going to do, offensively, defensively, what they do against the zone, the out-of-bounds plays, their half-court plays, their press attack. So you have to know that in your mind, and that's a lot of knowledge that you have to have for each team. But there's no time limit of what you have to put in to get ready for a basketball game.
I think the one similarity that you and Coach Knight have is getting under the ref's skin. I can honestly say, when you stand up, I would see you before the game, shake the ref's hands, you know, doing all that. Then if it's one call, you stand up. I'm like, he's finna explode in a couple of minutes. I could see it at any moment. Like, do you get any criticism, like backlash from that if people say anything like, oh, he yells too much, or he do this, he do that towards players or refs?
From the opposing coaches. I think the opposing coaches think, especially in our leagues, I get calls. And but we get calls that made the right way. I mean, I want the right calls. I don't care if it goes against me. If it's the right call, it's the right call. And so I think some of the coaches in our league just think I get all the calls. If I stand up and it's funny you say that, because they say when I get up and say something, okay, the game changed. That goes our way. But I just know the rules. I understand the rules. And I want the game called by the rules.
Yeah. So after Indiana, you won 115 games, only lost 79. Great record. You go to the CUSA conference and coach at UAB. Talk about that team and what was the difference between the years at UAB and the years at Indiana?
Well, you know, I started off at Indiana with like 3 or 4 straight 20-win seasons. First time in the history of school that it happened. Got to UAB and I signed to go there, and a lot of players that signed there, they didn't come because I wanted them to want to play for UAB and want to play for me, but they signed with Mike Anderson, so I was cool with it. We struggled the first year because everybody was new, everything was new, and the next 4 years we had 20 straight wins, season 4 straight years.
Yeah.
And so the difference in UAB and Indiana was that in UAB we didn't get the crowds and the national exposure just because of the program. Indiana was on TV all the time. I think one year I was there, we had the most attendance in the Big Ten in the country. So more people saw our games live than any other program in the country. So that's like a big difference from a basketball standpoint. They love basketball in Indiana. They understand basketball in Indiana. It's just the programs are different, but both are really good for me as a coach.
Yeah, then you look at your record at UAB. Your first year, you went 15 and 16. Then last year, UAB, you going to 500. But you had 4 straight seasons of 20-plus wins. Was you confused at all when UAB decided to, like, y'all parted ways about it? Because you just went to the tournament. You won 4 straight 20 win seasons, excuse me. Did you feel like, okay, why do we part ways?
Well, you know, that year, I don't think people even realized what happened. We just came off the NCAA tournament. July, my brother called. His son got killed in Texas at the Army base in a car accident. That was in July the 3rd. Like October, my mother passed away. A week later, my other brother's son, firstborn boy, both of them passed away. So it was like 3 deaths in like a total of from July to October. So really, out of my mind wasn't in it really. But you know, when you're in a situation like that, you're working. You know, they expect for you to do a job, and I was unable to do it at my best, which probably wasn't fair to the players of the program. But you know, emotionally, I just wasn't there. My mom and I, we were really close, and my 2 nephews, my son Mike, that's coaching me now. He's really tight with my nephew that was in the service here that passed away in a car accident. So it was just a matter of me just being emotionally drained and not being able to coach the team the way I wanted to coach the team. And unfortunately, they let me go, but fortunately, it was probably the best thing ever happened to me because I got a chance to come here to Texas Southern, which a program that I love, and I can do things here that never been done before. I want to do things here that never been done before, and so I got a chance to be in a great city of Houston, work for a great AD in Charles McClellan, be with people, not saying that people in Indiana UAB didn't appreciate me, but some of them did, but just being in a situation where I can help guys, players, kind of understand what life is all about. You know, sometimes you go from a smaller school to a mid-major to a bigger school. I went from a big school, mid-major, to a smaller school. Yeah. So it kind of, it was reversed, but it was done for a reason. It's made me, you know, understand the big picture, which I could give them, that they don't see and don't understand. And the only thing I can do for them is give them the information that they need to be successful. It's harder to get through to some of these guys I have here at Texas Southern, but at the same time, I do have the information. If you don't have the information, there's no way you can inspire people or get them to kind of understand, even though it may take years later to understand it. But I've been in the championship game. I've been at the top programs, and now I'm here. And my peace of mind and my coaching and my excitement is better than it's ever been before.
Yeah. You think the stuff, when we had all the things that happened in your family, from that span from July to October, did you ever think about stop coaching and just retire at that moment?
Yeah, it crossed your mind, you know, but it only crossed your mind because I was just going through emotional stuff. It wasn't like, okay, I don't want to coach anymore. Just like, okay, you know, I can't do it right now. But at the same time, you know, we always talk about obstacles. We always talk about, you know, fighting through them. And, you know, what a better time to be able to try to do that, because everybody knew I was going through from a team standpoint. They knew I wasn't on top of my game, but you know what a ride it was for me to try to stay focused and work as hard as I could work during those tough times. You know, it's so easy to do when everything's going right for you. It's so easy, but when things are going tough, it's really difficult. So, you know, I was in the standpoint of, okay, this is opportunity.
Yeah,
it's opportunity. And once I realized that, you know, the players are watching me, and they're going to go through some of the same things in their life, you know. For sure, it's going to be some death in their family. When they out working, it's going to be divorce, losing a job, losing a house, or whatever it may be. They're going to go through those things, and to see how I handled it. I thought I handled it well, but I knew I wasn't inside on top of my game. But I thought I handled it well. But what a great lesson for those guys to see their coach going through some stuff and be able to just stand there and fight. I never missed a game, you know, and they could tell my mood swing was kind of different at different times, but still I was there, you know, with them every day. So, you know, hopefully they can go through, when they go through some things in their life, they'll look back on my situation and say, hey, you know, Coach he handled it pretty well, so I got to handle my
And you going to TSU in 2012, you get a player like Omar Strong, I want to say your first year correct in TSU. Talk about that team and compare your first year at TSU and compare them to like the other teams you coached, UAB and Indiana.
Different mindset was different. You know, when you're at Indiana, when you sign like a high level program like that, when you go to school there, you go for a different reason. You know, most guys are going to, if they want to be in the NBA, they're going to work hard all the time. It's never going to be an excuse. If they want to get a degree, they know that there's a big time job waiting them, so they're going to act a certain way and carry themselves a certain way. So the whole culture is different. You don't have to explain as much there as you do here. And so going to class is like something that they love to do and something they embrace. You know, working hard, they embrace it because they're there for a reason. When you look to your left, you look to your right, you know, you have some great students, and they're not just looking for basketball to be a way out. So the big picture for them is totally different than what, you know, you're getting. So you got like maybe 200 majors there in Indiana. So if I want to major in, is there for me. The resources are just unlimited at a school like that. UAB is kind of in the middle. You know, you have those guys that kind of want to do it and kind of don't. You know, they want to do it, they want you to give them something, but they don't want to. You know, you have to push. And what I mean by that, I'm just talking about personalities and belief systems. You know, they have. And here at Texas Southern, it was a struggle. Struggle. It's a struggle every year for me. Just to get them to understand how important it is to go to class. You know, get them to understand how important it is just to work hard every day. You know, they just think it's just going to happen to them. They have what you call a fixed mindset. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Instead of having a growth mindset, whereas, hey, I got to make it happen. And I got to have a plan. I got to make sure that I'm stubborn, like really stubborn about my vision, but I'm flexible about the information and some of the decisions I have to make about certain things. So Omar Strong is a prime example. You know, he fought me on some things, but you know, his heart, his determination, the way he approached the game was just like special. I mean, special. He graduated. When I got here, he graduated from Texas Southern. But just trying to get him to understand the big picture. And now he's like, I mean, if Omar was at Indiana, UAB, and with the mindset he has, it'd be special, you know. So, but just getting him to understand, hey, practice every day. You love this game too much to miss a practice. It's just practice every day. But pleasure coaching him. He's just like, he's like my son. You know, we talk all the time. He texts me all the time. I follow him. I know what he's doing. And you know, but guys always say basketball is my life, but it really is not. Basketball is Omar's life. He don't want anyone to outdo him. So if you see you shoot 50 row, he's gonna make 51. You know, he's just a competitor, and I love it about him.
And you're dead on what you said earlier. You were talking about the difference between, like, the levels between Big Ten players, CUSA, and SWAC. And it's weird because you got the Big Ten players. Most of them, we could say this, all of them was really stars in high school. Most of them was highly ranked in the national spotlight. Their mindset is like, they thinking ahead. They think about the NBA. They talking to NBA 8. They talking to a lot of people in the NBA level. Then you got the CUSA that's in the middle. Like you said, you got some that's want to go to the NBA, and some that's like, I'm just here just to, you know, put on my resume or whatever. You got the SWAC players. TSU is like, they stuck on one main thing. And then talking about TSU and the teams that you coach, every year you've been at TSU, you either won a regular season championship or a SWAC championship. What is the expectations you have with your teams each and every year? Because, like you said before this season, you want to take a TSU team to a Final Four, and there be a lot of teams that's in the SWAC or at a HBCU period. They feel like, oh, the main goal is just conference championship. When we get to the big dance, oh, you know, we just here just to have fun.
Yeah. Well, you know, most teams want to compete. You know, I want to dominate, and when you want to dominate, you think differently, you recruit differently, you approach it differently. Everything is different. I want to dominate the SWAC. I mean, I want to win every single year. I don't want. See, most people are like superstitious. Well, you can't keep doing this. And why not? And so, I want to get to the Final Four here. I want to play for a national championship here. So my mindset is like, not when November get here, but every day of the year. You know, how can we do this? What can I do to make my basketball team believe it? Because right now we don't believe it. You know, and we just think we can win the SWAC. And we okay with that, but some kind of way, I got to get guys that believe, but not only believe, but put the work in that it takes to do. Because it's really hard to get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Really hard. It's not luck. We talked about David and Goliath before.
Yeah.
And everybody like, well, we're not David. David was an expert. Because Goliath was the one in trouble. He was blind in one eye, and he had no chance against David. Because David, when his slingshot was more like a gun, somebody shooting a gun, and he was like kill tigers with his slingshot. So we want to be David, but we don't want to be David in the way people think David is. Because the perception of what people think David is, the little guy win. But this little guy was an expert. And so I got to get guys who believe that just because we're Texas Southern.
Yeah.
It don't mean that we can't do what anybody else do anywhere else. I just think anything can be done in college basketball. I've said this 1,000 times up in it. Can be done from right here.
Yeah. But
you have to put the work in to be able to do it. You're not going to just look up and make 23s in a game for 5 games in a row and think you're going to be the national championship. It's some struggle that goes along with that. There's a lot of hard work, but you have to embrace it.
yeah, how can you get players to buy into what you believe in going to the Final Four? Because look at the teams you had. Best bet, if Griffin would have stayed on this one, this team could have possibly made the run, and you had Brian Carey would have been healthy. How can you get guys and players in the SWAC for TSU to buy in and think big and think Final Four instead of just thinking limited?
Very difficult, but it's a challenge that I embrace because I'm telling them everything they need to know.
Mm-hmm.
They're hearing all the right things, but when you have a belief system, see, what people don't understand is our minds are not designed for anything that we feel is like danger.
Yeah.
And so when you work and you pushing yourself, your mind tells you to shut down because this is just too hard.
Yeah.
But great people, great teams understand that the environment you are in is not for your comfort. It's not for you to feel good. It's for you to work hard.
Yeah.
And so you believe something, I believe something. And it only has to make sense to one person for them to keep embracing it and holding on to it. And so if I believe something, it sounds good to me, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And so no matter what I give them from an information standpoint, they won't let go because there's that little thing in their brain that's telling them, hey, it's too hard, it's another way, I got here by doing this, but you're not going to get there by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But they think I can get there by doing this, or we're never going to win it because I'm at Texas Southern. So why should I push myself as hard as I can push myself if it doesn't work out for me?
Mm-hmm.
Give you an example. My son shoots 5,000 shots last summer for 2 straight weeks, a day, and it's like 60,000 shots in 2 days. Come out in the game and shoot. He had a bad game shooting. So I said, well, why would you shoot all those shots and, you have a bad game? And my point is, you work, and I'm not going to stop working because I have a bad game. Because we all do.
Yeah.
So if you stop doing something just because you have a bad game, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
You're doing it, you have a bad game, you come back and you put more. And you come back and you put more, and you put more, and you put more. And sooner or later somebody says, oh, he's a natural. He's an elite shooter. But they don't see all the times you work, but you have to struggle. Like everybody, no matter what you do, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
You're going to struggle. But you have to know why you struggle, you have to embrace the struggle, and you have to try every single day to get better. Not 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And even the day that you may think you're taking off, your mind has to be working overtime. What can I do to get better?
Yeah, and talk about this team that you had this past year, the 2016-17 team with Zach Lofton, Delani Robinson, Trey Jefferson, Marvin Jones. I can honestly say, we talked about this before, this is the most different team that you have ever coached at TSU. Not skill-wise, but as far as like off the court. Sometimes on the court. What made this team, in your eyes, different than any other ones you
Well,
had?
first we underachieved. I don't think people think we underachieved, but we underachieved.
Mm-hmm.
We lost 2 conference games. We shouldn't have lost any. We lost to 3 or 4 non-conference teams we should have beaten. And so we underachieved because everybody had their own individual thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them. It's just one or two. Every single one of them. So,
Yeah.
you know, you can overcome one negative. You know, they say the ratio is 8 to 1. 8 positive, 1 negative. You can overcome that. And so in basketball, you only have 13 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's no 2 8-to-1s in basketball. And we had about 6 guys, 7 guys that didn't care about each other, didn't care about the team. The team wasn't really important. But the good thing we won, but the worst thing we won.
Yeah.
And so it was very difficult. This was my most difficult year as a coach, coaching these guys, because it got to a point where it wasn't about anything other than managing their behavior,
Mm-hmm.
you know, managing their commitment to Texas Southern. And I think this team failed to realize that Texas Southern will be, and was before bigger than them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you thinking that you're doing the school a favor, and most of them thought that, then you lose sight of why you're here at Texas Southern. You know, it's kind of like when you go overseas. I'm not sure if you've ever been overseas before, but when you go overseas, they speak a different language. So you have a tendency to think that they're not very smart because they speak a different language. They have a tendency to think you're not very smart because you don't speak their language.
Yep.
So you thinking that they've never seen you before, you think that you can do something they've never seen before, and vice versa. And so when this team last year came to Texas Southern, they didn't realize that there's been some really good players here at Texas Southern.
Oh yeah.
Really good players.
Oh yeah.
And so there have been some really good players in the SWAC. And so each one of our guys thought that they were doing the SWAC and Texas Southern a favor of just being on this basketball team. And when you have that mentality, that mindset, you're not going to give everything you can for the team.
Yeah, and I seen a couple of moments where we talked about Zach Lofton, talented. I said going into conference play he was going to be the best player in SWAC, but he up here, and you know, he was kind of, I don't want to say soft, but it was like he had attitude issues with the court. And I seen a couple of times where y'all be in a huddle, he'll be yelling at either you or the players. Do you think he underachieved and you try to make him hit this potential that he had, but he didn't quite get there?
Well, you know, like I said, the team, we all underachieved, and then we all made some sacrifices as a staff to try to get these guys to be successful. Here at Texas Southern, you just handle things totally different because you try to get second, third guys, chances for guys, and guys can't make it other places that you try to help them to make it other places, and you try to teach them along the way every single day, but they fought us. But again, you know, our fans are happy. We won 16 games. We won the conference regular season, won the conference tournament, and that's what it's all about here, is to win both of those.
Yeah.
But if you want to go deeper, your attitude. See, it's like on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, you know, your attitude, if you're gonna go in the Final Four, it's got to be 9 or 10. It can't be a 3 or 4. All right.
Yeah.
Your effort on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, of getting to the Final Four, getting deep in the tournament, has been 9 or 10. Can't be a 3 or 4. You know, your practice habit, your chemistry, it has to be at a 9 or 10. With 9 being low. So we never got past 4. And so we was at 4 and still won 4 non-conference games. We was at a 4 and still won 16 conference games. We was at a 4 and still won the SWAC tournament. So take that 4, move the needle up to a 9. Where are we now? We had 27 wins, 28 wins, 1 game, 2 games, maybe win in the tournament, because now we're not a 16 seed. We were at a 12 seed, 11 seed, because you can respect us now if we go with that talent and we beat Southern Illinois that we lost to. We beat LSU that we lost to. We knock out one of the bigger opponents, whether it is Arizona, whoever. We win one of those games.
Yeah.
And now you're sitting here with 7 wins, 8 wins in non-conference. We beat Lafayette, a team that we should have beaten if we had that 9 out of 10. So now you got 8 wins. 8 wins in non-conference. You put that 16, that's 24 wins. You go with the 3 inch, that's 27. What's the team that won 27 games going into the NCAA tournament? That was a 16 seed. And you talking about a 27 win season with non-conference wins against good teams, not with D2, NAIA, some team that can't really play. So we deserve a 16 seed.
Yeah.
Because of what we had accomplished, of the talent that we had on our basketball team. And anything you do in life is just like what you do, okay? You can't come in here and operate on the 4 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be here long. You got to know what you need to do to get to that 9, that 10. Every day. You got to be there every day, every day. If you drop, it better be a 7. It can't go down to 3.
Right.
But we was able to win at a 3 and 4. And by us being able to win at 3 and 4, that was the worst thing that happened to us, because now we think, okay, we doing everything right.
You think you can rank them TSU teams that you had so far?
Rank them?
Yeah.
My first year, I thought we bought into things at the end, and we didn't get a chance to play in the tournament, which was unfortunate, because I thought that was a really good team. I mean, I thought Ray Penn and
That was the team.
Arias and
I don't want to cut you off. That was a team that couldn't go to the tournament.
Yeah,
because
couldn't go.
No, that's I can say that because this before I got to TSU. That team, when I watched them on TV, was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Who was it? Ray Penn, Omar,
Lawrence Danner, Medeiros Gibbs,
I remember that
Fred
team.
Sturdivant. Who else we had? We had AC. And my mind's going blank on me. I hate to leave guys out that we had. That was pretty good. But that team won 14 games in a row. The longest win streak in the NCAA behind Louisville that year.
Yeah, this the right. Yeah, Ethan Blackwell, Aaron Claiborne, Dexter Ellington, Gibbs, Lawrence Johnson, Ray Penn, Billy Rosenberg was on that team.
Yeah, Billy was a walk on that team.
The tight end, I don't know. Well, yeah, 1.5 points a game. Yeah, tight end. Omar Strong, Fred, and Kyrie Sutton.
Yeah,
that was a pretty solid team. And I remember I watched that team on TV, and that would have been, a very good team.
That team there defensively played pretty hard. They started coming together.
Yeah.
Like we ended up putting Omar on the point guards and putting Ray on the shooting guards.
Yeah.
And they both was like really, really dramatic and just outstanding defensively. But we won 14 straight games, and that was a special team. By next year,
Eric Murray.
we had talent with Eric Murray, D.D. Scarver, Ray Penn, but the chemistry was really bad on that basketball team, and we ended up going.
I noticed that
I
too.
think 12-6. We lost more games that year than we did all year put together. But we got it going in the tournament. Won the tournament. Eric played great in this white tournament. He played really well in non-conference, but he didn't really play well during the conference.
Yeah, and I noticed that watching that team and going to a couple of their games, it was more like it was an Eric Murray show.
Yeah.
Because I remember Ray Penn in high school was great in high school, but then his game changed once he got to TSU, and I feel like especially watching that play-in game, it was like it was all Eric Murray. And I feel like the team kind of reminded me of the team that you had this past season. It was like the talent was there, but the chemistry, like you said, was at a 4.
Yeah.
So looking at that team, I felt like that could have been better than what it was.
That was the
outside
team
looking in.
That was the team that should have won the play-in game. But guys didn't accept what we wanted to do from a game plan standpoint of what we had.
Yeah.
And we really struggled. We really struggled with being that team. We really struggled with just, the chemistry, and we just kind of played individually. At one point, we were 6-6 in in the conference. And we ended up winning 6 straight conference games, going 12-6, and 3 straight games in the tournament. And so we won like 9 games in a row. And but that was an underachieved team as well. The next year I thought we would just like try to hold it together, buy some time, to get some guys in here. And that team there was just off of sheer, Darius Gibbs led us.
2014 year?
Yeah, we beat Michigan State and Kansas State, man. And we had Auburn beat to call at the end of the game, cost the game. We was up 1 with like 11 seconds to go in the game, and they called a foul at half court. But that team there was, if I can take that team mindset and put it in the talent that we've had with the Eric Murray team and the Zach Lawson team, then we would have won some games. That team there was like a 15 seed.
Yeah. And what was the players' mindset when they beat Kansas State and Michigan State back to back? What was it like in the locker rooms and at practice?
It was a celebration, and it was a celebration that they didn't know it should have been a norm. But it was a celebration, and it was a situation where it hurt us because we didn't realize why we were good. To think you're good is good, but to know why you're good is better.
Yeah.
And we didn't know why we were good. And we were good in those games because we shared the ball and we wanted to win more than anything. It didn't matter who scored, who played, we wanted to win.
Yeah.
And we got the conference play, and we only lost 2 games that year, but we never should have lost those 2 games. And we struggled with some games that we ended up winning because we wanted to turn it on and off. We was like the, how can I explain it? It was like Michael Jackson tour. When you walk in the gym, Michael Jackson walk in, everybody's, oh, that's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Now we walk in, oh, that's the team that beat Michigan State, that's the team that beat Kansas State. But these come from SWAC fans.
Yeah.
So they were more proud. They were not more proud, but they were proud of us for that accomplishment that we did. And it wasn't the norm.
It represented the conference.
Exactly. So when you walk into Alabama State and they tell me, man, y'all beat Michigan State, it's like, wow. You normally get the hatred and the competitive, vibes from them. They were more, man, that's that team. And so they would sit back and wait for a show.
Yeah.
Give us something. Show us how you beat Michigan State.
Exactly.
Show how you beat Kansas. And our guys got caught in that more than just let's play the way we played against those guys.
And it's weird because bigger school, you beat Michigan State or Kansas, it's like, oh, it's just another game. But then you're in the SWAC. Holy shit, we just beat Michigan State. Like, we just went inside of them and beat them in overtime. So it's like, it's that different feel. And like you said, that team, and I like the team. You had Chris Thomas, Darius Gibbs, the Farrell Bigs too, who I just saw a couple of weeks ago. And another guy that led that team. And that was the year that Jose was hurt the whole season. And if he played, that probably gave an extra edge or extra boost because he had just came off a double-figure season, I'm correct?
Yeah.
So, and then you switch to go to the 2015-16 season.
Showtime.
You get the Showtime.
Showtime, coach. It was showtime.
With Derek Griffin, Blanks, and just talk about that team. And you won 18 games that year, but you had a team that won a racing championship but couldn't beat Southern in the championship.
Yeah, we kind of unachieved. That was a tournament game. We should have beaten them, but it was just they wanted it more than we did.
Yeah.
They was prepared to beat us. We came out like they were gonna lay down because we had beaten them twice, I think, during the season. Yeah. And they came out and fought us like crazy, and we responded. But then we took the lead. We was down 25, I think. We came up to the lead by 2. Then we started back to play the way we played when we got down, and that was a disappointment for us. For me, it was very disappointing.
I think it is crazy because I feel like that's the team. We talk about the team that underachieved. I think that's the team because you look at that roster. That's the team you had Coleman, Brian Carey, that was David Blanks. You had Derek Griffin, of course. Jose came back off an injury. Chris Thomas, I feel like me personally, that was the team that was supposed to be in the tournament and not Southern.
Well, we supposed to, but when you're in one big league and you have one night that you don't come out and play where you're supposed to play, that's what happened to you. We played terrible basketball.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we was playing really poor basketball the last 6 games of the season. It's really, really bad. I mean, we won, but it was like they're buying into everything from day one.
Yeah. All right. So make this form. Make this perfect. Put these 5 TSU teams in one pot. Like for example, it's like quarterbacks in the NFL. You say Aaron Rodgers you can make the perfect quarterback. Let's take Manning's brains, Michael Vick legs, and Dan Marino's strength. You got this perfect quarterback. Take these 5 TSU teams and make who's the perfect TSU team?
Well, since I've been here, it's just hard to say. I love Monday's skill, leadership, and his fight. His everyday approach in practice. He never came to practice and took a drill off, a day off, or anything. And I've never coached a guy here before that did that. Where he comes every single day, every day, and he works. And so he made himself into the player of the year in our league. Who would have thought he'd been player of the year when I first got here? I was trying to find out a replacement for him at that position all summer long. And so he made himself a player of the year. He worked really hard, but it wasn't just that year he worked hard. He worked hard every year I've been here. So finally it paid off for him his senior year. Omar strong, relentless, heart, bigger than the state of Texas. You want that. Other guys are challenged. They talent. You would love their talent, but I don't want to speak any names that, those 2 guys love to practice. Those 2 guys love to compete. And, the other 3 is yet to be made because to go on that list is not a list that just put you on just to be putting you on.
Yeah.
You got to deserve to be on that list. And no matter if you won player of the year, all conference, we beat some teams, I look back and I look at every situation, every practice, and I never get him a pep talk about effort.
Yeah.
Never get him a pep talk about attitude and behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why when you put together a team like that, you put together the behavior, the attitude, and the effort, not just the talent, but the effort that it takes.
And Donnie Marsh, your assistant coach, I look at y'all 2, and I always say, y'all Doc Rivers and Tom Thibodeau. I always call you Doc, and he was Tom Thibodeau. He was the Jedi master, Jedi mind of defense. He was the guy, the perfect assistant coach. When he left off to Alabama A&M, first of all, I know he probably called you. What was that conversation like before he made that decision?
I encouraged it. Coach was the head coach of Florida International before he came up with me at Indiana. And so he's really worked hard. He deserved another opportunity to be a head coach. And I tried to give him a lot of jobs throughout this course of me being here at Texas Southern. They didn't come through, and I was happy that Alabama A&M gave him opportunity. It's a big loss for us, huge loss for us. Matter of fact, the year he was gone, it was 12-6 in the conference. So big loss for us, big game for Alabama A&M. I don't look forward to playing them because we're friends,
Yeah.
But you have to do what you have to do once you face each other. But wish him all the best. We talk a lot on the phone. Matter of fact, we talked yesterday. He texted me this morning. So. Big loss for us from a defensive stability standpoint, but a big game for Alabama A&M.
So did you think that played an effect with Zach Lofton and Jalen McLeod transferring to the schools, or you think it was just something else, that the decision they made that led back to saying that this team really didn't have the chemistry all the way? So it was like, after this season's over, I might make a move to the NBA or I might transfer to another school.
I'm not sure how long you've been here with me. We always replace them. Always. As my job as a coach to replace. We've had 5 straight players of the year.
Yeah.
5 straight, and we're looking forward to the 6th. And so, you got to embrace me. To take me, handle me. You got to embrace work. You got to embrace doing the right things and not just talking about it, actually doing the right things. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'm brutally honest.
Yeah.
I don't really. Your human emotions don't matter to me. When it comes to me telling you honest things, do I care about you? I love you. But the one thing that most people don't do with other people is be honest with them. And when you're not honest with a person, how can they correct things?
Yeah.
And so, no matter who we lose off this team, we're gonna replace them.
Yeah, I already have faith in you with that. I wasn't even worried. Somebody texted me when one of my friends texted me when that move was made with Donnie Marsh, and they was like, "Oh, you think TSU gonna come back?" I'm like, the gap is so huge in the SWAC with TSU and Southern. It's like I don't see a team stepping up. That's like in SWAC football. If Grambling lost a couple of players, you can see Southern creep up on Grambling, but you lose Donnie Marsh, you lose Zach Loft, Jalen McLeod. Like the gap is still huge regardless.
And
You lose it.
we may lose some more.
Yeah,
You never know.
maybe.
But we're gonna gain some.
Exactly, that's the thing about it. So let's just talk. I want to talk about this question. I was talking to somebody at TSU, and we was just talking about the athletic side of it with all sports at TSU. When you go to these other schools and you walk inside of a gym or the university, you're going to know the achievements and accolades and the players that walk through that university. When you walk inside of when you go to TSU and you walk inside a gym, you see banners, you see a few banners up there. Jerry's retired. But you don't see any trophies. You don't see nothing that is representing like the history of TSU sports. Because there's been a lot of great players that came through. Track, you have Coach Duncan, one of the best names ever at TSU.
Big time.
Big time. There's nothing.
Olympian.
Exactly. Olympian. So it's like when you walk around campus, the trophies is it's not underground, it's like in a room just collecting dust. Do you feel some type of way about this since you're a coach at TSU and it's like the school is not embracing the history of athletics at TSU?
Well, we have ours in our office, our locker room. So
Yeah.
when a player or a parent come to visit us and walk in our office, they're right there in the front. You go in our locker room, they're right there in the front. So we have ours in place where the players and the parents that visit us can see them.
Yeah. And attendance. I think me and you talked about this before. The best basketball program in arguably in HBCU right now, SWAC and MEAC combined. But the attendance don't show. Like literally I could tell you this, like in 2011, this was the year after Snap and Joe Young after that season. They had Finlay Prep that's following that next season. And it looked like a graduation at TSU. It was packed all over for that game. And that's the only time I've ever seen the HP&D Arena packed for a basketball game. That was 6 years ago. Do you feel like a change should be made at TSU to bring in more crowd at the games?
Well, we have a great arena. And beautiful arena. And you want it to be packed every night, but you also want to give the people that do come and spend their money some joy and some excitement to appreciate. But I'm not sure what we can do. Maybe I can do a better job of getting out with the students. We just got the students there. Just get the students. If you get what we got on our campus, 10,000 students.
10,000.
Just get 5. Get 5 of them there. Now you got 3,000 more to get there. But if you start getting 5,000 students at your game, there's gonna be some people in the city that want to just see that alone.
Yeah.
Because everybody will want to be a part of a crowd and a part of something big. And so we just need to figure out a way to get the students there first. We get 5,000 students on our campus.
Yeah.
At our games. They only seats 8,500. And the band gonna get some of those seats. And so now you're looking at about another 3,000 3,000, maybe 2,500 with all the other people that generates the other 500.
Yeah.
You can pack it out, but what can we do to get your students out? To me, it's going to be the most important thing. Cause if you're in Houston and you're here at Texas Southern, man, they're rocking and rolling over there, boy. We got beautiful, beautiful girls on our campus.
Yep.
We got entertainment. When they want to be. People come just to watch them alone. I've had people come to my games that from my hometown, from Alabama, come and say, "Wow, man, I really enjoy the atmosphere."
Yeah.
But what if you put 5,000? What kind of atmosphere would you have? So we need to figure something out. How can we get our students out? Cause sometimes I think they don't know we have a game that night.
And that is true. I remember one time, literally, it was an event going on when y'all playing Jackson State. I think it was not this past season, but the year before. And it was like an event organization threw. It was the same day as the game. I'm like, that's why you don't have nobody coming to the game, because y'all throwing events the same day as games. That's just like for football too. Like, nobody goes to the football games. You could say that, hey, the stadium is too big, but that's bull.
Our stadium is perfect.
Stadium is perfect. That is a football. That's a football stadium.
Beautiful. And we got to do it. Coach Haywood, I think, have a great year this year. We're fortunate to have him as a head coach, and he's going to get his guys in here, his attitude and everything. The work, the effort's going to be there.
Yeah. You got a question?
Well, I was going to ask, like, U of H is playing their home games at the HPNE Arena. Would that have some effect to it for bringing more fans to the games as far as TSU and seeing what we have to offer?
Well, I think when UH played Akron in NIT on national TV and on gym, people were like, wow, that's Texas Southern Arena. That's really nice. And for some reason, it looked different when they played than what we play. Our games, I'm not sure it was the seats around the arena. I'm not sure, but it looked totally different. I was like, wow, that's our gym. That's really nice. But
Like, where all this come from?
yeah. But it should help. It should give our people some ideas about how to set up the arena for games, because that was really nice how they had it set up.
Yeah. And one last question before I let you go. What can we look for with this team this upcoming season as far as like the recruiting standpoint or anything like that?
Well, we're still recruiting. We still have about 6 spots to fill, and if we can get the guys we try to get, then we should have an exciting season.
Yeah. Oh, because I forgot about this one question. I forgot one more question. My producer looking at me. I'm
It's like
like,
the elephant in the room.
I forgot. I'm looking around.
You sure you forgot, or you just kind of?
No. I really forgot. They were telling me 5 more minutes, but I was like, all right, let me see one more question, but I forgot. San Jose. Now, there's rumors going around that you and another coach is interested in the job. Could you clear it up and let the people know if there's any truth to it or if there's anything going on with that job?
Man, I've said this many times. I love Houston.
Yeah.
I don't want to ever leave Houston. And if I leave Houston, it's got to be something that I think in my mind help my family. But my family's been treated first class here in Houston, so I love it. I want to be here. I'm used to the city now. I'm really used to the city. I can drive around. And it takes time for a country boy to get used to driving around the city. I used to just drive back and forth the same way every day. Not veering off anything other than direct to school and back, and maybe going to the funding and everything. But now I know my way around here. My little boy loves it here. My wife loves it here. Anything you want is here.
Yeah.
What is the third largest city in America?
Yeah.
And so
That's top 4.
It takes a miracle for me to get out of here.
Well, there you have it, YouTube and SoundCloud. There is no Mike Davis going to San Jose State. He's staying at TSU. He will forever be a TSU coach. Am I correct?
I want to get my name on the floor one day.
We're gonna work on that. There you go. And this was the 3rd show of the Real Deal with Akil podcast. Catch it on YouTube and on SoundCloud.